Here's your homework help for Unit 5, Lesson 8. First thing we're looking at, problem number 1, is two cars drive on the same highway in the same direction. The graph shows the distance d of each one as a function of time, t. Which car drives faster? Well, we have to think realistically. The car that's going to drive faster is the car that's going to have the greater distance in the shorter amount of time. So think about something like that. And then describe it down here of how you know based on the constant rate. Two-car services. So we're going to go to this one. Two-car services offer a pick you up and take you to your destination. Service A charges 40 cents to pick you up and 30 cents for each mile of your trip. Service B charges $1.10 to pick you up and charges C cents for each mile of your trip. We're supposed to check the correct matches of the services in lines L and M. So we're talking about these lines here. Line L would represent one of the services. Line M would represent the other service. And we're talking about lines L and line M. We need to recognize which company that is, and I'd like to help you with that. So line L, we see starts at 1, a little bit above 1 on the y-axis. So that one right there, line L, should be representing service B. Starting at $1.10 and then charging C cents for each trip. So it's kind of being a little ambiguous here. And then line M obviously would be service A. You're welcome for that. For service B, make sure you choose whichever ones are correct right here. Service B is the additional charge per mile greater or less than 30 cents per mile on the trip. This would be requiring you to go ahead and read the graph appropriately based on telling me what that value of C is per mile. Is it greater than or less than 30 cents per mile for the trip? And then explain how you know. Be very specific as you explain how you know this piece about whether it's more or less than 30 cents per mile. Use information from the graph, specifically talking about slopes and different points that you might need with that. I'm going to skip over this next one, and we'll go down here to this one. This graph has 5 different lines. You need to write the equation for the green line. What I really would recommend that you pay attention to with this one, for every single one of these, that you recognize what the slope is equal to and what the y-intercept, or at least the y-coordinate of the y-intercept, is equal to for B. For this one, the green line, understand that the y-intercept is right there at -2, but think about what the slope is. There is 0 rise and infinite amount of run, so think about what that slope does for that specific problem. For letter B, write an equation for the blue line. Come back to the blue line. You'll notice that it's already started out with x equals. The reason for that is because the blue line is a vertical line, which means it does not have a slope, and which means that you can't have a y-coordinate anywhere embedded into that equation. Part C is the black line. Make sure that you recognize that as a positive slope that is passing through -6 on the y-axis. The part D, the yellow line, and then the red line, the yellow line, is talking about a negative slope. So make sure that whatever you have for your slope represents a negative value. And that you have a y-intercept passing through +5. And then finally the red line, a positive slope. Again, the y-intercept is passing through +5. And that would be it for your homework. Thanks for working on it. Let me know how I can help.